shadow figure. A young woman by the name of Victoria uploaded this short clip of herself to TikTok in the last few weeks. She states that she had gone back to her hometown to visit her grandfather. However, she says that she was alone at the time she recorded this short clip. Her grandfather, whose apartment she was in, was not around. In fact, she was the only one home, and was on the second floor. There was no additional information for this video, or at least I couldn't find any. So, what could this be? A real shadow person creeping around in the dark corners of her grandfather's apartment? Or simply just a trick of the camera? It's pretty creepy. Let me know what you think. Ghost in my house. A woman by the name of Crystal Luna here on YouTube has recently gained a lot of attention for the few videos that she does have on her channel. Crystal has been a researcher of the paranormal for years now, and in 2018 she became aware that her apartment was once owned by an elderly lady that died in the house and wasn't discovered for 3 or 4 days. Once she learnt of this, things started to make a lot more sense. You see, Crystal had heard odd noises in the apartment ever since moving in. However, in this video of her explaining all of this while walking through her house, she unknowingly captures more than just the usual weird sounds on camera.
Pero si quería grabar este video y lo que está pasando no es normal. No es normal y sé que aquí murió una persona hace muchos años, ya me habían contado esa historia. ¡Efi! ¡Efi! Vámonos. Vámonos. Pero quería compartirlo con ustedes. Después quiero hacer un video para traer uno de los especialistas, alguien que me acompañe para ver qué es lo que hay aquí. Estamos siempre expuestos a cargar con este tipo de energías. Estoy escuchando ruidos allá atrás.
Unaware at the time, Crystal catches on camera what she now thinks quite possibly could be the spirit or ghost of the elderly woman who used to own the house. It's somewhat hard to see at first, but there definitely appears to be some sort of apparition or mist moving from right to left in the shape of a person. Avid viewers of Crystal's have also noticed some sort of mist or something gliding across the camera earlier on in the video when she's recording a piece to camera. Whether this in particular is just smoke from a candle or cigarette is unclear. However, the initial capture at the end of the video has convinced most people who have viewed the clip. If you're interested in viewing the full 2-minute video yourself, her channel name once again is Crystal Luna. Hearing voices. Uploaded to YouTube, an unknown person who goes by the username Anonymous1 has a dozen or so videos of in and around their own house. The videos gained the attention of many viewers about 6 months ago when they made the rounds on other channels. However, the original uploader has since disappeared, with no post or replies on their YouTube channel or even their now deleted Reddit account for months now. And basically, the dozen or so videos on the channel show what the homeowner thinks could be paranormal activity, caught on a couple of home security cameras. The short clips show anything from weird, unexplainable voices all the way to supposed shadow figures. This short 6-second home security clip shows what the homeowner thinks could be some type of apparition forming or manifesting itself as it comes out from the wall in the living room. However, it doesn't end there. In another video by the original poster, we hear what sounds like a phantom voice talking aloud. Let me know if you hear it the first time round. It almost sounds as if someone with a British accent says aloud, "Get out of this house." I'll play it again and let me know what you think. The original uploader appears to be American and doesn't sound anything like the voice you hear in this video.
If not, we ask that you please exit this building, this apartment.
So what could this be? Other short videos from the anonymous one YouTube user show even more unexplainable happenings in and around their house, including transparent orbs darting around them at night and, believe it or not, even more supernatural type voices coming as if out of nowhere. I suggest checking out their YouTube channel, if not their Reddit page, for all clips and information regarding this supposed haunting. If anyone is aware of their true name, let me know and I'll credit them down below. Lights out. The following video comes to us from a YouTube user named Eric Gunner. I've featured some of his videos before. Those videos you may remember for their creepiness. In the last week or so, Eric uploaded a video that seemed out of the blue, even for him. The portrait-style video in question was uploaded to YouTube with the title, "It's Happening in My House, Urgent Help." The clip shows Eric walking very slowly through what appears to be his own house in the middle of the night after hearing some odd noises. Eric states that, in addition to the weird sounds, the power to his house had also been switched off, leaving him to walk downstairs in the dark with nothing more than his phone flashlight. What he finds creeping on him at the end of a dark hallway would give anyone the creeps.
Como estético usa todo hasta allá. Imagínense qué tan grande está. O sea, real, es todo este pedazo. ¡Ay, cabrón! Seguro se grabó.
Eric gets the fright of his life when he discovers that someone is seemingly watching him from the end of a dark hallway. The unknown figure shows no more than what appears to be a greyish-looking face with long hair. After his initial shock, he plucks up the courage and goes after it.
Seguro se grabó. No.
Eric searches the bedroom from where this person was peeking out from, but finds nothing. He even walks through and into the ensuite, but once again, he comes up with nothing. Could this creepy-looking face be that of an actual human playing jokes on Eric after breaking into his house? Or could this be something truly paranormal? You decide that for yourself. To watch this full video, switch on over to Eric Gunner's YouTube channel. The Girl with the Teddy. Sometime in 2018, a man by the name of Jorge uploaded a couple of videos to Facebook documenting his life after coming out of a coma. The original upload has since been deleted, but I found a copy on another YouTube channel named Almundo DKBZar. And as the story goes, Jorge suffered some sort of cardiac arrest or heart attack, which ultimately sent him to the hospital. He ended up in a coma for 3 days and had some wild dreams, one of which Jorge remembers very clearly. The dream saw a young girl come to Jorge's side and offer him a teddy bear, and more or less stated if he took the soft toy, it would allow him to survive the coma. The 3 days pass and Jorge wakes up in hospital happy to be alive. However, it's not too long after he wipes the sleep from his eyes does he notice the same exact teddy bear the girl gave him in the dream sitting at the end of his hospital bed. Fast forward a few days later and Jorge is at home, awake in the early hours of the morning after hearing some very odd sounds coming from the next room over. You see, since leaving the hospital, Jorge and his family started seeing and hearing some very odd things. So, this night in particular, while his family is sound asleep, he decides to start recording on his phone after hearing some strange noises. This is what he captured.
Sí te escuché. Te escuché que ocupabas a tu mamá. No sé en qué más, no sé cómo ayudarte. Hay alguien que viene conmigo que te va a poder ayudar. Voy a cerrar la puerta para venir con esta persona, para tratar de ayudarte. ¿Ok? Dios, ¿cómo pudieron oír? Sí está aquí la niña. Es una niña chiquita. Tratando. No sé, tengo miedo. La verdad. Tratando lo suficiente. Dios. Los inciensos me dijeron que pudiera invocar. Voy a abrir la puerta. No te voy a hacer daño. No quiero que me hagas daño. Oye, quieres a tu mami. Trataremos de hacer lo posible, ¿ok? Pueden ver, se caían las cosas. Okay. Vamos a tratar de... Si tú eres la... Dios santo. Dios.
Jorge attempts to talk to this alleged spirit of a little girl who supposedly communicated with him while he was in a coma. A local psychic medium advised Jorge to let whoever or whatever was in his house know that he didn't want any harm. However, what he may have missed is that when he enters this one particular room, something appears to be sitting on the bed in the corner of the room. The creepy black mass appears without any color and is void of anything whatsoever. Considering Jorge gives a panoramic view of the room many times over, commenters find it hard to believe that this is anything but real. But what do you think? Jorge and his family haven't been heard from since. I recommend watching the entire video as you see a couple of things moving, seemingly on their own, including the creepy teddy bear which was of course brought back from the hospital. The old days. The next short one-off clip was recorded by a man named James McLean, a guitar enthusiast from America. Having uploaded 24 or so videos consisting mostly of him playing guitar makes this one-off supposed paranormal activity video stand out even more. The clip in question shows James walking slowly down the hallway at his mum's house after he kept hearing one of his guitars strumming seemingly by itself in the back of the trailer. And even though this upcoming video is blurrier than you might want, it still shows something just plain creepy.
I've been here all night. See? Hello? Jesus Christ! Ah! Oh!
James walks down the hallway after hearing a guitar strumming on its own, only to get the fright of his life. As he gets close to the room at the end of the hallway on the left, a picture frame among other things come off the wall, crashing down towards James. Shocked by this, he steps back in a hurry and the video ends there. Commenters of the original video have noticed what appears to be a piece of wood or trim almost levitate or hover in midair, if only for a second. Others have mentioned that they hear phantom footsteps and maybe even a disembodied voice near the end of the video.
Jesus Christ! Ah! Oh! Oh!
Let me know if you can hear any of this. Regardless of whether or not this is actually paranormal activity, it's definitely creepy. Link for James's channel is of course down below. Dark energy. The following video comes to us via news station Fox 43. In October of 2018, the network made what they thought would be a fun little piece for Halloween. However, it turned out to be anything but. Fox 43's Katie Kairos took a tour around a house owned by a couple named Deanna and Tom Simpson in Hanover, York County, Pennsylvania. The couple claim that their house is haunted and state that they've caught many of these supposed ghosts on camera. Just minutes into the interview, Nick, the network's photojournalist, felt his wrist burning.
Are you okay? Did you get scratched?
He was behind the camera, but Simpson knew what had happened right away.
Oh my gosh.
He'd been scratched. Simpson says it's happened to her, her husband, and friends many times before.
That's unbelievable. God bless you. You know why? Because you're telling the story. Yeah. Because you're putting it out there. Because they don't want, that is their, I'm just telling you right now, that is their way of a warning.
Deanna also says that she's recorded a door supposedly closing on its own, among many other strange things, including seeing orbs darting around the house, black shadows, and even states that her and her own cat have been pushed down the stairs at one point. While the crew are at Deanna's house for the interview, Deanna starts recording, hoping that she'll catch some orbs on camera. Which she does, but she also unknowingly captures on camera some sort of a black mass darting from one side of the room to the other.
While we stood at the top of the stairs, Simpson recorded on her cell phone camera. She was hoping it would catch orbs, but it shows something else too. It looks like a hand.
Oh, what? Did you see that?
Simpson says it looks like someone she's seen before, and it's not a ghost. It's a demon. It's been seen in the basement.
If all of this wasn't spooky enough, Deanna shows the news crew what she once caught on a trail cam down in her own basement.
So far in this house, Nick has been scratched. I've been touched and pinched. We've seen strange lights on the walls and heard noises, and we haven't even gone down to the basement yet.
Where is the place where you saw the Shadow Man picture?
This photo was taken with a deer camera in the basement.
This picture right here is the Shadow Man. He's about 7 foot tall.
Simpson says she's scared by what's happened, but she and her husband have lived in this home for 7 years. Her grown daughters refuse to stay here.
Deanna and her husband say that this alleged shadow man has been seen many times since it was caught on this trail cam, and state that they would move out if they could, but really don't want to take a loss on the house. Travel Channel's The Dead Files have visited the house and made their own episode on the place, suggesting that the home is haunted by something really dark. But who knows? Could Deanna and her husband Tom have made all of this up years ago? Or could their house really be one of the most haunted in the country? Alone After Hours. This next clip comes to us from a YouTube channel named Oz Laskins and has been featured on a few paranormal type channels in the last few months. However, this particular video creeped me out so much I had to feature it as well. For those who haven't seen it, the 3-minute clip in question shows a man recording himself in portrait mode on his phone as he walks around his studio late at night. The unknown man started videoing after he got the fright of his life. He explains to the camera that he was in the studio restroom doing his business when he felt what he thought could have been someone touching him on the shoulder.
So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been working in the studio, and the last couple of nights I've been hearing really creepy sounds. I've been hearing footsteps and like seeing things out of the corner of my eye. Now this is a really big old building, and so that's got me a little bit freaked out. But the top of it was just a few minutes ago, I was going to the bathroom and I was standing in the stall, and I swear someone grabbed the back of my shoulder while I was standing there, and I freaked out. So if something happens, I want to have it on video.
After explaining what just transpired, he takes a quick look into a storage room or two, but he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. He continues on and looks through both the men's and women's restrooms where he thought he felt something touch him just minutes earlier.
So this is where I was. I was standing right there. The lights are working in the bathrooms, of course. Hello? Hello?
Our unknown recorder searches both bathrooms and comes up with nothing but a jump scare after one of the cubicle doors closes by itself, giving him a fright. He then decides at that point to probably call it a night, but as he does, he unknowingly captures something very creepy on his phone.
Alright, I think I'm done. I think I've had about enough for today.
Most people who view this video seem to miss the exact reason why this video made the rounds. You see, if you didn't already know, as the man is leaving the woman's restroom, he captures what many people think could be the face of an apparition staring at him from around the corner. If we slow down the video and look closely, there appears to be a face of what looks to be a woman or even child looking directly at the camera as he walks past. It even appears to have glowing eyes and a short haircut. By the looks of how the stairs are, this person would probably have to be 12 to 15 to 20 feet tall as it's peeking out from around the corner from the bottom of the stairwell. My opinion of this is, if the guy did fake this video, he's done a great job, but if it's real, my god is this creepy. Shadow people. The following video is from someone we've seen a lot of lately, but don't worry, what I'm about to show you has not been seen before. I didn't expect to feature him again so soon, but I came across something you might just want to see. Kent from Ghosts of Carmel, Maine has for years now documented the weird things happening in and around his house. In past videos I've gone through what he's managed to capture on camera, including EVPs, shadow people, and things moving, supposedly on their own. This video is very similar. If for some reason you haven't seen any of my previous videos with him, Kent lives in what he calls the Lamb House, a house that is thought to be haunted by many different supposed ghosts. Kent's latest video is titled Living in the Lamb House and is, well, exactly what you'd think it's about. Kent describes exactly what it's like to live in a home that is occupied by many different so-called lost souls. The first part isn't exactly proof of the paranormal, but is rather creepy.
There's been times that nobody's been in the house and I will mop the floor in the kitchen here. And when I mop the floor in the kitchen, I couldn't tell you how many different times that I turn around and look at the floor from the dining room area, and I pay attention to it because I've seen this happen before. And I took a picture of this, so I'll show you guys it, but I can't prove to you it's paranormal related. I haven't captured it on video. But after mopping the floor, and nobody's in the house, and I'd look from the dining room area, and in the kitchen area between the kitchen table and the microwave, footprints sometimes show up on the floor. They're not my footprints. I always wear house shoes in the house, but it looks like feet that belong to maybe a female.
Now, footsteps on a wet floor isn't exactly evidence of anything really, but it adds to the weirdness that is Kent's house. One night, Kent was walking through his home, camera in hand, after hearing what he thought were disembodied voices.
I heard that. Did you say something? Came from this corner here. Hello?
Now, Kent believes that this could possibly be an apparition of sorts peeking out from the stairwell. It's a little hard to make out, but it kinda does look like a face of sorts on a really short person. But of course, this could just be nothing more than noise on a camera. However, this next clip I'm about to show you is ultimately the reason why I wanted to feature this video. Check this out.
One night, while sleeping, there was a loud bang in the bedroom that woke me up. I started hearing faint voices, so I picked up my cell phone camera and started recording. And I could hear the faint voices. But then what happened, which is not the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last time, this is when, living in this house, when these encounters just come out of nowhere, and they can scare the living crap out of you. Son of a... What the hell are you? Honey, what the hell are you? I did not go back to sleep that night.
A shadow man or figure appears right in front of Kent's TV, hovers for a second or two before darting straight down towards the floor. I don't know if you caught it, but you can clearly hear the fear in Kent's voice when he asks, "What are you?" And I don't blame him one bit, this would scare the shit out of me. The shadow figure seems to be totally aware of both Kent and his wife while they lie there in bed. It almost appears as if they could have been watching them sleep. But who knows, perhaps this is nothing more than some great editing on Kent's behalf. But somehow I don't think it is. If this isn't real, I don't know what is. If you've got a spare hour or so, I suggest watching the full video on his channel, Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. The Woman Who Follows. There is a channel here on YouTube named Paranormal Duet. It's made up of a Spanish couple who investigate and explore supposedly real haunted buildings and locations. The couple have been exploring and uploading their creepy content for over a year now, and in that time they've seen many strange things. In the early hours of the morning in January of this year, 2021, the couple were awoken to strange noises coming from downstairs from within their apartment. They grab their cell phone and start this creepy live stream.
¿Quién eres? Están en el cuarto de Ale. Hola.
The man goes downstairs to check it out, but he doesn't see anything down there. At first, the couple believed that they had a home intruder, but as you've just seen, the man doesn't see anything or anyone while he's downstairs checking every room. The man then walks back upstairs and back into the bedroom in hopes of getting back to sleep. But as you're about to see, that doesn't exactly go to plan.
¿Qué quieres? Espérate. Espérame aquí.
Yo te ordeno en nombre de nuestro Señor Jesucristo que te alejes, que te vayas.
Oyes.
No tienes cabida en este hogar. No tienes cabida en nuestras vidas. En nombre de Jesucristo yo te expulso y te despojo de este lugar. Te despojo. Lárgate. Ser inmundo. En nombre de nuestro Señor Jesucristo, glorifica el nombre del Señor Jesucristo.
Once again, they go downstairs after hearing some sounds, almost as if people are moving about in their living room. But yet again, there is no one down there. However, something that the viewers of the live stream at the time managed to see gave the couple the chills. What looks like the faint appearance of a woman is visible just outside the couple's apartment window. At first, people thought that this was just a joke. However, after hearing from the livestream viewers that they had just seen a creepy person outside, the couple refused to believe it at first because it was simply impossible.
No manches, no. Sí, no puede, es imposible que haya alguien ahí parado. Y les voy a demostrar por qué. Ay, Dios, se me da cosa bajar, hija. Miren.
No hay manera de que nosotros podamos subir a la azotea.
No, miren, ahí está la ventana, ¿sale? Jálale aquí, hija. Ay. Chéquense. ¿A dónde está la ventana? ¿Ya vieron? O sea, son aproximadamente como 4 o 5 metros a la ventana.
As you can see here, the couple even go outside to prove that there is no way that someone could be outside the window. The man explains that the height of the window is about 4 to 5 meters or 13 to 16 feet, which really does make this impossible. Their livestream viewers at the time eventually send through a screenshot of this thing at the window, and the couple are shocked. To see all of this and more though, you'll have to check out their channel, Duet Paranormal. The historic Jefferson Hotel. In the town of Jefferson in the state of Texas lies a building that many people believe is one of the most haunted in the state. The Jefferson Hotel began as a cotton warehouse in the 1850s to support the exploding cotton industry. The Jefferson was also encircled by a long veranda where the Hotel Good Time Girls once advertised their wares during the early brothel years of the hotel. There are many reported specters of the Jefferson Hotel, so many in fact that they're known by many as the world's most haunted hotel. Judy's Mirror in room 19 is a particular hotspot for paranormal activity, part of which seems to be connected to the anguished spirit of a teenage girl. Though records of the hotel's history as a bordello are understandably spotty, the girl is thought to be a prostitute who was stabbed by a client and left to die slowly in room 19's bathtub. She now appears in the mists of the hot showers and leaves messages on room 19's bathroom mirror. New owners Jeremy and Pam Jones of Denton purchased and moved into the historic Jefferson Hotel in July and immediately took on the task of updating the 170-year-old building. Ever since then, the owners have managed to capture some really odd things around the hotel on one or more of their motion cameras. One such video shows what the owners think could possibly be evidence of the paranormal. And Jeremy explains in the upcoming video exactly what happened on one particular night back in March of this year.
We had a guest check out at about 1:30, leaving frantically because of an encounter they had in the bathroom mirror with a message. Now this is pretty common here in the hotel. We have had several messages appear in various rooms, different messages, etc. And we are aware that you can easily create messages with alcohol and stuff like that, and they'll keep coming back. However, in this case, it's a little different. They were taking a bath, and it got pretty steamy in there, so it said, "You must leave," something like that. It was as a message. The boyfriend or husband said, "Oh, it's just someone playing a prank," and got back in the bathtub after they wiped it off. Well, when they got out, they got a new message that said, "Get out." And so this scared them because, the message changed. And so we went in there, fogged up the windows, and sure enough, "Get out" came. And it was kind of weird because the way the message was wrote, it almost looked intentionally creepy. So we kind of decided, it was probably just someone playing a prank. But we took some pictures. I'll show you the pictures real quick. These pictures were a little eerie. You can see right here is the "Get out." And we took a series of pictures. Well, in all these pictures, there's only 2 people with the exception of this one. You can see right there, there's a third face. And there should only be 2 because all the pictures only showed 2 people in there. So, whoever this third face is, we don't know.
Just like the stories about Room 19, Room 17's mirror also appears to not only show creepy messages, but also shows what appears to be the reflection of a third person's face, even though there was only 2 people in the bathroom taking photos at the time. Now, could this be the spirit or entity that has been seen in Room 19? Who knows? However, this is not the only time the new owners have caught something on camera like this. In fact, they've managed to capture through motion camera such things as indoor statues moving seemingly on their own, a stack of dishes moving or collapsing on their own, and even a little Pinocchio marionette swirling around on its own in the early hours of the morning. But nothing compares to what Jeremy and Pam caught on a hallway motion camera at 3 in the morning. The clip in question was so creepy that it made its way around many other more established scary YouTube channels. In the following video, you'll hear Jeremy explain exactly what happened.
What had happened here is, if you look down at the green door back here, that's room 19, where most of our activity happens here at the hotel anyway. I'm going to show you a version that's not zoomed in, and then the version that's zoomed in. So this is the version that I saw that caught my eye, and it's going to happen about right now. There it is. So to me, that was a person walking by, and I was like, okay. So we searched the hotel. Like I said, nobody was there. So let me show it to you again, and this time, let's see if I can land on it. This time I'm going to zoom in a little bit, not as much, and then I'll zoom in further here in a second. It's coming up right now. Right there. And here it comes. Definitely looks like a solid figure. What else is weird is prior to this, you'll notice the lamp was on at the end of the hall. And it goes off. There it goes. This was about, well, 4:37. Yeah, about 2 or 3 minutes prior to the event.
What appears to be a thick, black shadow can be seen darting from right to left. The apparition or shadow looks as if it's somewhat transparent as it moves across the hallway very quickly. Who or what could this be? Because it sounded like no one else was supposed to be there at the hotel at the time. Believe it or not, there is a lot more to be seen with the historic Jefferson Hotel. However, for all of that, you'll have to turn over to their YouTube videos. I recommend subscribing to their channel, as I have no doubt this won't be the last time we see something spooky from them or the hotel. Never-ending happiness. Disneyland, as we all know, is one of the most magical and happiest places on Earth, simply because it's the place where dreams come true. However, with over 10 million visitors per year, Disneyland also happens to be one of the busiest places in the world. With security cameras in almost every corner of the park, it probably wouldn't be too much of a surprise if something unusual was recorded. The following 2 clips show what the original uploaders think could possibly be ghost sightings inside the also famous park. The first of which was recorded inside the Tower of Terror while a maintenance man was performing a routine check. The mechanic himself didn't see anything strange, but the unknown person sitting in front of this particular security camera did. Not long after the ride starts, we see what appears to be the outline of a person sitting behind the maintenance man. The figure appears for a split second and then gone the next. The transparent figure then emerges again, this time 4 or so seats away from the maintenance man. The silhouette of a person pops up as if out of nowhere. The person-like apparition is seemingly dressed in light blue or white and disappears almost straight away. Once more near the end of the video, this figure shows itself once again, and this time quite clearly, arms stretched out almost as if they're holding on to the restraints. It honestly does look like someone transparent is riding the Tower of Terror, feeling the fear of the ride, and holding on for dear life. Now, this video surfaced online back in 2014, and Disney fans around the world came to the conclusion that the so-called apparition was that of a former bellhop for the ride. Apparently, a past worker for the Tower of Terror ride collapsed and died while on the platform working one day years ago. Perhaps this is him? This, of course, is not the only time Disneyland workers have suggested that there has been a somewhat invisible or non-paying guest in the park. A very faint-like light is seen in another video seen on security camera from above the boarding to the ride space mountain. More difficult to see than the last video and a lot easier to dismiss, simply because it could be nothing more than a smudge on the camera lens or just a blue light. The Haunted Mansion within Disneyland has also had an apparent ghost sighting a year prior in 2013, when a silhouette of a childlike apparition was seen walking out of the popular ride and down the pathway and out the front gates. Multiple cameras captured this unknown thing strolling through the rest of the park, looking as if it were enjoying itself. Could the all-famous park be occupied by more than just regular paying guests? Who knows? Unknown roommate. The following few videos are from a Spanish man who uploads primarily on Facebook. His name is Abiud Hernandez Alvarez and has been documenting the supposed haunting in his apartment for over a year now. His videos have captured the attention of many other well-established paranormal or scary top 5 channels before. However, his videos are just too creepy not to feature. If for some reason you haven't seen his videos, brace yourself because what you're about to see just may mess you up. It's been suggested by Abiud and his Facebook viewers that his apartment just may be haunted by a former female resident.
Pero no hay nadie en su recámara. Ay, güey, cerraron su recámara. Pues sí está abierta. Y pues de este lado igual, el baño está abierto. Ay, güey, están tocando la puerta.
Abiud appeared to be working on his computer when he hears knocking at his apartment door. He gets up, walks over to the door, opens it quickly, but there's just no one there. Videos such as this started off quite harmless, and his viewers suggested that it's someone or something just having a little fun with him. However, over time, things have got worse. Much, much worse, and a lot creepier.
Asusta un poquito ahora sí, porque neta se escucha aquí adentro. Se escucha como la chapa, pero pues... A ver, voy a levantarme. Se escucha aquí afuera. Voy a abrir la puerta. Se escucha prácticamente cómo está caminando. Me da un poco de duda que exactamente hay. No sé si abrió o cerró la puerta de la cocina. A ver. Pues está abierta, pero no recuerdo honestamente si la había cerrado o abierto. Esta tarde. Veo aquí qué onda. Pues no hay nada, no se ve nada ahí. No mames. Ahí está. Otra vez los tacones están yendo para allá. A ver. Ay, cabrón.
Abiud appears to be woken up in the middle of the night by tapping noises, only to be led out into the living area of his apartment, searching for where these sounds may be coming from. He looks throughout the place, however, he comes up with nothing. When out of nowhere, the sound of a woman's high heels can be heard walking down the length of the apartment towards Abiud's bedroom. His bedroom door then slams closed and the video ends there. Considering Abiud lives in the apartment on his own, this is very unnerving. However, there's so much more to it than this. His Facebook page is full with very creepy videos that show supposedly real paranormal activity.
Hace un frío horrible. Hace demasiado frío. ¡Puta madre! Déjame salir. Chingados. Las campanas se están moviendo. Esto parece una pesadilla. Una maldita pesadilla. No comprendo. No entiendo. Uy. Puta madre. De verdad, estoy muriendo de frío. No.
If all of this wasn't creepy enough for you, make sure to check out Abiud's Facebook page where you'll find a lot more, including wind chimes moving mysteriously on their own and even the apparition of what appears to be a dark-headed woman peering back at Abiud from the other side of a room. As hair-raising as all of this is, he states that most of this activity doesn't bother him too much, and even states that he simply enjoys it. If any of this intrigues you and you want to see more, you'll find it all on his Facebook page, Abiud Hernandez Alvarez. Shadow of a Child. The following video was uploaded by a man named Ahmed Salah, an adventurer and social activist who loves to explore the abandoned sites and, quote, the most dangerous sites of horror. In this video, we see Ahmed venture out to an old building that looks like it's been abandoned for decades now. The multi-story building has a dark past and is known in the local town for being haunted or occupied by an unknown presence. Ahmed gains access by unlocking several doors and walking deeper and deeper into the place, when he captures something on camera that left his viewers with the chills.
أيوة هاي الصوت هيو بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يابا بسم الله
Our explorer unlocks a door, pushes it open, and out of nowhere, a childlike shadow runs out from behind a mattress. The transparent-like figure darts away from the adventurer within the blink of an eye. Frightened by this, the explorer is taken back by it and yells out. After getting no response, he plucks up the courage and walks in after it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Now, whatever this thing was, it not only gave Ahmed the fright of his life, but it also managed to escape a fully locked building. The second story from which all of this occurred on shows no signs of escape routes or anything like that. So what on earth was the shadow of a child running out from behind a mattress? Could it have just been a real child, or is the transparent bottom half an escape just too hard to explain? Perhaps someone in the comments can give a reasonable explanation. The entire video is just over 13 minutes long, so if you're interested in viewing that, you'll find it over on his channel, Ahmed Salah. Kilometer 31. In September of 2019, Alberto Del Arco, along with his friend and filmer Lewis, traveled out into the middle of nowhere to record a creepy video. Alberto Del Arco usually uploads videos of himself venturing out into the unknown, and from time to time manages to capture things that just can't be explained. The following is yet another great example of that. Alberto and Lewis travel to a location a few dozen miles outside of Mexico City. The location known as Kilometer 31 is known to many as the location that just may contain paranormal entities or shadow figures. Rumor has it that the wooded area is occupied by something very creepy that many visitors have seen but just can't explain. Locals definitely call it haunted. So much so that a movie called KM31 was made back in 2006, which was loosely based on the supposedly real haunted location. Alberto being a regular to everything paranormal related, he makes his way out there, parks up, and along with his cameraman Lewis, go exploring through the forest area.
¿Ya viste ese tronco? ¿No te da la impresión de que es una niña? ¿Como de una niña? ¿Ya viste ese tronco? ¿No te da la impresión de que es una niña? ¿Como de una niña? ¿Ya viste ese tronco? ¿No te da la impresión de que es una niña?
The two men explore a popular stone house used as a tourist spot for people brave enough to venture out there. They explore the surrounding area and see nothing. They hear a few noises, possibly coming from animals, but they really come up with nothing. That is until this happens.
¿Viste ese tronco? No te limpias. ¿Viste ese tronco? No te da la impresión de... ¿Viste ese tronco?
Lewis unknowingly records something that just isn't noticed by the two of them until they put this video together. What appears to be some sort of transparent shadow-like figure seems to glide across from left to right from behind a window frame of the stone house. Could this be the something creepy that many people think about when they talk about the location? Could the wooded area really be occupied by something supernatural? Or could you put this down to simply just an anomaly of the camera? The full video is very creepy and is something I would recommend watching on Alberto Del Arco's YouTube channel. Cabin in the Woods. The first half of this story you may be familiar with, the second half probably not so much. In April of 2019, Ricky Velasquez made a midnight trip to a church on the outskirts of his local town. The trip was made for a live stream the urban explorer was doing on the church for his YouTube viewers. However, while he was there that night, something else caught his attention. An abandoned log cabin just 50 feet or so away intrigued him more than the church itself. So, a night or two later, Ricky Velasquez made a trip back to the location, but this time made an effort to explore the creepy-looking cabin instead. Ricky started his live stream and started exploring the house, thinking it was going to be yet another abandoned building just like many others. However, both Ricky and his viewers were surprised when they heard what sounded like very faint voices of a child. Since this night, Ricky has been back to the abandoned cabin over half a dozen times. It seems with each time Ricky goes back, more and more supposed paranormal activity occurs. However, it wasn't until Ricky's third visit or so and livestream with a friend did he actually capture something on video.
Ricky. Ay, Ricky. Ricky, no, Ricky. Ricky.
¿Qué madre es eso, güey? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué putas madres es esas madres?
Ricky and his friend capture what appear to be a silhouette of an adult holding hands with a child. The two entities seem to form as if out of nowhere, only to walk off just moments later out of frame. The SLS camera or Xbox camera pick up more than just that though on this particular night. About half an hour later, the two supposed spirits are seen again walking past another doorframe.
Ricky, no, Ricky.
Ricky once again captures on his SLS camera two shadow people walking in and out of frame. He almost immediately runs after them, but sees nothing. Some more time passes and Ricky and his friend are almost about to pack up for the night and head home when they discover that they're still being watched.
Naide. ¿Ves lo mismo que yo veo? ¿Qué se te figura eso?
Ay, no, Ricky.
¿Qué?
No manches. Son los mismos. Lo que vimos allá.
Nah. No. A ver. Ten, agarra. Es que el lado izquierdo da al derecho y el lado derecho da al izquierdo. Tu cara me asustó. Yo dije, ¿qué es eso?
Up until now, you may have seen some or even all of these clips. However, there is much more that has been caught on camera at this cabin in the woods. On another night of exploring the old abandoned house, Ricky's livestream viewers swear that at one point they saw what could be an apparition of a young girl. Let me know if you see it.
Dice, Albol, una mujer dijo, cállate, cállate. Hola. Güey. Güey. Hola, bestia. Te mamaste, güey.
If we slow down the clip here, we can see what appears to be the apparition of a young girl standing there through the window frame. Weirdly, Ricky's livestream acts up just as he pans past her. Coincidence? Who knows? But what gets even weirder than this, on other visits to the mysterious cabin, Ricky unknowingly captures on livestream what many people think is hands down the manifestation of a young child running past a doorway. This particular clip has been picked up by many other scary and paranormal channels and shows what they all think could be the ghost of a little child running for his elders. It gets even stranger than this though, because in yet another visit to the cabin, Ricky captures an entity of sorts on his livestream. This time he sees it though, and well, he gets a little frightened by it.
No. No. ¡Hola, bestia!
Ricky has since explored the house again, but didn't really capture anything more visually on camera. All of these videos by Ricky Velasquez have been live streams and would no doubt require a decent amount of planning to orchestrate these sightings. What do you think is happening here? Could Ricky Velasquez be curating all of these videos with a bunch of friends and family members? Or could this big old abandoned cabin in the woods really be haunted by a bunch of ghosts? Real or not, they're definitely entertaining and creepy. The St. James Theatre. The St. James Theatre is a stage theatre located in the heart of New Zealand's capital city, Wellington. The theatre currently faces onto Courtenay Place, the main street of Wellington's entertainment district. However, the land it sits on was, at one point in the 1800s, nothing more than a small cemetery. Officially opened in 1912, the St. James Theatre has been used for both silent movies and live performances. Over the years, the building has had a recorded 27 sightings, if you will, where employees and even visitors of the building have seen what they thought could have been a ghost. Ghost hunters Michael Hollows, Brad Hills and Caroline Taylor starred in a TV show called Ghost Hunt that aired in New Zealand back in 2005. The 10-episode series showed the group of 3 travelling the length of the country exploring the supposed most haunted spots, with the St. James Theatre being one of them. Brad would typically sit in the back of the team's vehicle with the monitoring equipment, while the other 2, equipped with cameras, were sent out to explore. In this particular episode, the team arrive to get a little background on the spirits that supposedly roam the St. James Theatre.
This was the biggest theatre in Australasia when it was built, and it was sort of revolutionary in terms of its cantilevered upper stories. 2 particular ghosts, they're both violent deaths that happened in this theatre, and I think that's common to theatres around the world. If there's been a violent death, sometimes there seems to be a presence that lingers. The major ghost, Yuri, the Russian ballet dancer who fell from the flies up there.
Yep.
It's about 15 metres, the drop.
Yep.
Some say he was pushed. The slamming of the seats, they authenticated this used to happen. The lights going on and off, this was another aspect of this theatre that was identified by 5 or 6 different people at different periods over 20 or 30 years.
Michael and Carolyn start their night by talking to a historian named David McGill, someone who knows the building quite well and appears to know all of the stories on the place. And it's not too long before these stories start to give the amateur ghost hunters the creeps.
Where violent deeds happen, ghosts seem to linger on. You'll find this all over the world. A restless spirit, perhaps, seems to be the theory. The Wailing Woman, for instance, who cut her wrist, was an actress who got a bad review and went into the dressing room on the mezzanine floor here and slit her wrists. So people like that are not at peace.
Yeah.
You know, they sent dogs up, police dogs, to investigate up here once, and they wouldn't go in.
Really?
And the hackles rose on the back. And dogs are super sensitive creatures, as we know. Something frightened them. And they would not go into that area to investigate.
So you don't envy us our task of having to come through here by ourselves tonight with all the lights turned off to investigate?
I wish you well, but you don't know, you see. At night time, with the lights off, who knows?
Fast forward several hours through the night and into the early morning, and the team regroup back to their vehicle for their ghost hunt analysis. Brad starts off with explaining what Michael had captured on camera while he was in the auditorium just hours earlier.
But we got some really interesting stuff. And Michael, I will start with you. I'm going to show you some of the photos that you took. That's taken from the stage looking out over the orchestra pit. It brightened up the photo a little bit. And it's got a lot of orbs in it.
There's a few.
Yeah. And the photos that you took when you were up on the balcony. And I like that again.
Wow.
And there's 3 quite distinct orbs
They're
in that one.
they're quite obvious ones, aren't they?
They are. Now, the funny thing is that you took another photo in pretty much exactly the same spot, and this is actually really good ghost investigation.
And the same orbs, almost.
More?
Yeah. There's more. They're in different spots, so you can't put it down to, say, a scratch or something on the lens. In fact, you've taken 2 photographs in the same spot, and you've got orbs but in different positions.
Right.
Means that they're moving, which just adds a whole other element.
Brad identifies that Michael had captured what appears to be some sort of orbs lingering in the seating area. Some commenters in the original upload have suggested that the orbs almost look like people are sitting out in the auditorium as if there's a live performance on. Of course though, this could simply just be dust in the air or something similar. However, the next bit of so-called evidence of the paranormal is a little harder to explain.
Cara, you went for a wander through the corridor upstairs where the makeup rooms were, and then you came downstairs into the basement area. And this was something that I saw as you were going through, and we're looking at the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
yeah.
It's quick. You just walk through. You're having a bit of a problem with the lift as you were. We get this orb floating all the way through down the corridor.
Yeah, but you can see movement. It's almost like it's going through the doors up the corridor.
It is.
And
it's really
I'd
obvious,
just gone through there, is that right?
Yeah.
You didn't see it following me around the rest of the place, did you?
No, it just came through this one shot. But yeah, that's quite bizarre, because I can't put that down to any other phenomena. That particular orb, you can tell it starts off small and then it gets bigger as it gets toward the camera. And if it was, say, a dust particle, it would generally just fall straight down through shot.
Sure.
It actually moves horizontally.
I would assume most people watching this would probably come to the conclusion that this, once again, is simply just dust flying through the air. However, if you watch this entire episode of Ghost Hunt, Caroline clearly states that in this particular moment that she felt like someone was following her up the stairs. I'm just saying, it's a weird coincidence. Now, if a lot of dust particles, or should I say orbs, weren't scary enough, the next piece the team of ghost hunters discuss is actually a little creepier.
Now, speaking of your experiences, Miss Caro, this is you wandering through. You upstairs in the fly?
Oh, that was weird. I felt like I was floating in the middle of nothing because it was just so dark, but I knew
how high up I was. Shivers. There was all this banging and stuff. It sounded like someone was following up the stairs behind me. No, I'm not lying. It was...
Something spooked you up there, and you were up in the area of Uri, and that's the photo that you took when you were up there. It just looks like a flash to me. It's like, you know, reflected off something. And this one, because you've used the flash and there's a big flare there and a glare, I actually reduced the brightness and the contrast to see what it was.
Oh.
Came out looking like that.
Holy hell! That's like a floaty...
I just find it a really odd
It's so sharp.
phenomena. Yeah.
That would be an apparition, nearly. That's so strange. Yep. It's like a slim sort of, well, ballet dancer.
Yep. Do you think it's Yuri up there?
Well, that's his little place.
It is. And I can't work out what else it is. It's a really bizarre apparition. And
That's so strange, because, I mean, that would be basically floating, and the apparition is just in the middle of the air.
But you did very well. You've taken a fantastic photograph. You were extremely brave to go up that high. Well done. I'm really happy with what we got.
This part of the episode left a lot of people lost for words as Caroline is up 50 feet or so in the theatre fly space, but somehow happens to capture something on camera. Now, this is almost the exact spot where Yuri, a former Russian ballet dancer, fell from many years ago. Could this weird and somewhat creepy black mass or apparition be that of a man who met a violent death, or is it simply just something much easier to explain? This episode of Ghost Hunt only scratches the surface of what many people have sworn they've seen from within the building. If you're interested in viewing the entire video, link is in the description below.